Welcome to Project Innovation. On this episode, we spoke with the project team behind the new state-of-the-art Plumbers training facility in Chicago, set to open in summer 2017.
So maybe we could begin, Jim, with just sort of telling us a little bit about how you went about sort of deciding you needed a new building and then figuring out what you wanted that building to look like.
Well, thanks for having us, Walker. The Plumbers have been in this neighborhood since 1927, and we decided, the Joint Apprenticeship Committee decided to build a new training center. So this building is going to be a big L-shaped building now. It's going to be 60 feet farther north and 180 feet farther west than the old structure. So it's about 50,000 square feet.
How did you then go about figuring out sort of who to hire as the architect, the contractor?
So that board is made up of labor and management, and I have a great team of contractor trustees. And collectively, we decided to choose O'Neill and Gensler. They came as a team. We interviewed 6 or 7 different general contractors with their architects, and it was an easy decision to pick O'Neill. We, the Plumbers, have a relationship with O'Neill. When we decided to stay in this West Loop back in 1994, we hired O'Neill to do the renovation of Plumbers Hall back in 1994, 1995.
So have there been any particular construction challenges along the way as you're kind of trying to actually make it a reality?
We did run into some subsurface conditions that are not entirely unusual for the neighborhood, but a little worse than we thought when we started digging. So we had to put some deep foundations in, which was part of the design iteration. And then some of the shallow foundations we actually had to dig out up to 11 feet below grade and then rebuild that back up with engineered fill. So that's something that, as a design team, we were aware of that possibility, and we actually did have a budget in our GMP to account for that. So it ended up not being much of a charge to the owner because we anticipated that. We talked about it. The communication between the design team, O'Neill, and the owner has been so good that we just sat down and said, okay, we thought this might happen. This is happening. Mm-hmm. Here's how we're handling it.
We were prepared.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a guy who believes that if we're going to do this, we're going to do it right or we're not going to do it. So at the end of the day, when I finally told these good fellows what I all wanted, now the budget's about almost 21 million.
Yeah, just under.
Yeah, but here's the good news. This is being paid for by the members of Local 130. I went to my membership and I said, we need to build a state-of-the-art school. So through contract negotiations, I have the ability to tell our members how I would like to allocate that money. So over the last 2 years, the first year we put 20 cents just to a JAC building fund. And then when I realized that 20 cents might not be enough, this past June I added another dime. So we have 30 cents an hour going into a JAC building fund.
Are there any, really particularly kind of innovative or new, pieces of technology that you're showcasing, or sort of new ways of, working as a plumber that this building will sort of highlight?
The new technology in the plumbing world is what they call rain harvesting. It's where you take the water off the roof and you go through the downspout piping and then you filter that water. And then you put it back into the plumbing system to flush toilets and flush urinals. We don't see the shortage of water here because we're spoiled by Lake Michigan, but the folks out where there's droughts in Arizona, California, this is a new technology. We're going to implement it in this building, and it's going to be fantastic. Solar energy, we're going to have solar energy to heat the domestic hot water. So those are a couple things, and when we say we're going to make this the greatest training center in the United States, that's our goal. And some of this is the new ideas out there in the plumbing world.
Do you think that this project will, from a design perspective, change sort of how you guys approach future buildings and sort of thinking about plumbing and sort of other projects you might work on?
Well, I know we've certainly, as a design team, have learned a lot. We've actually had to go and get special approval to do some of the systems that we're doing in this building because they've never been done before. So we had to go to the Illinois Department of Health to just have them verify and look through all the systems to make sure that because they had never even seen some of this stuff before. That's how forward-looking some of the systems that are actually being put in place are. So yeah, I think that for sure when it comes to water conservation, we certainly are a lot smarter now coming out of this project than we were going in, seeing some of the potential of what's out there.
I think that water is a limited resource. Fresh water is something that's extremely important to all of us, the entire community, and so being able to be involved in a project like this that's providing state-of-the-art technologies to train the future plumbers, I think is just remarkable, and that it's a give back because those trainees will be eventually installing plumbing in the future designs.
And it sounds like it'll really meet a huge demand and growing demand for plumbers.
Well, we put on, just to show you how I think we have weathered the recession, and which really affected all the building trades. In 2015, we put on 170 apprentices. In this past year, 2016, we put on 140. So over 300 apprentices in the last 2 years, which means there's a demand from our contractor base to hire young folks. And we're very excited. I can't tell you, this is, it's going to be the showcase of the West Loop.
Click to subscribe and see more at builtworlds.com.